So this will be part 10 of our complete application in ASP.NET and C# and SQLite. And today we are going to be talking about fixing errors. So I'm going to run this application now. I've screwed up a few things. I've deleted my database. I've also changed some things. And I'm going to run it. I'm going to now show you how to detect where a problem is coming from and then solve it. All right? So now in this case, the build has failed and I'm going to say no. Again, if you are joining for the first time, please hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, and also if you have challenges, please do let me know. So right here in the output right here, you can see that we have an indication of what the error might be. And this is one problem I faced initially. In my patient model, I have patient ID in camel case, in Pascal case, but in this case I have the ID with the ID in uppercase. So what you can do in this case, because you have new appointment here, you can go to the appointment model and just check. So here in the appointment model, you can see a patient and you have patient ID in Pascal case. So in that case, you have to decide what to do. So it's better to use the one that we use in our model. So the same thing goes for room ID right here. So I'm going to just change it here as well and change it. Now these files are modifying, they are the seeders. The seeders are actually the files that actually populate or insert the initial data into your database. So let's just correct these errors, and I'm sure there may be other errors possibly. So I'm going to save everything. I told you I tried to mess up a few things so that we'll be able to see how to solve problems. I'm going to run this application and let's see what happens. So most likely there will be another error. Let's see. Alright, there we go. So we have another error have occurred here, and let's see. So it says unhandled exception right here. Now it says there is no such tables countries as you can see. Let me increase the fonts, maybe it's going to be clearer. Okay, so that means that something is messed up in your database. Now when the database has problem, be free to delete the database file. So what it means is, if I go back to the Solution Explorer, if I go to the data folder, you see that we have Hospital DB right here. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to do the migration again. So let's see, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to my Solution Explorer. I'm going to delete the database, yes. I'm also going to check that my connection string is okay. So if I go to the app settings, we have the connection string to be okay, all right? So what I'm going to do now is to create the migration again. So I'm going to go to Package Manager Console, and I'm going to recreate the migration. So I'm going to say add migration. Initial data. That's the name of the migration, so it's going to use the context and generate all the tables for us. So I'm going to hit the enter key. Okay, it added the migration and that is fine. So we can now do update database. But I told you that when we have web host extensions, then you don't need to do update database. If you do update database, it's fine. But since we have web host extensions, the database should be able to update when you start up your application. Alright, so I'm going to start up this application and let's see what happens. Meanwhile, let's go to the web host extensions. When I go to the web host extensions, we have country CEDAR here. I'm going to add all the other remaining CEDARs. So let me just add them. So I'm going to say new admission CEDAR. Context.seed. And there we go. So let's see. Potential fixes. Okay. So instead of typing it one by one to save time, I'm just going to go to my repository and copy the CEDARs and copy the code. So Kindson, GitHub, you can just go to my repository and let's just open this. It should be here. It should be a second. So if I go to repositories, we have hospital MS, open it and just go to hospital demo, go to extensions, web host extension, and I simply want to copy all these CEDARs here. Copy and then I'm going to paste here. What I want you to take note of is that we've not created our database. We expect that the web host extension method is going to create the database for us. Actually, the migration will create this database for us. So let's run this application and let's see what happens. So I'm going to click on run. Alright, so we see everything starts up correctly. So I'm going to rooms and nothing happens. So let's try to figure out where the problem is coming from. So now I told you I kind of screwed up some things. So if I go to, first let's check that the database is created. We have the hospital DB file right here. So if I go to Solution Explorer, to SQLite Server Compact Toolbox, if I drop down, you can see the tables are created as well. So I'm going to just check what is inside this table, and you can see that there is data inside the table because the CEDARs actually executed. Okay, so let's leave here. Let's go to check the controller. So we have the home controller for now. There's no other controller there. So let's create the controllers at this point. Although I gave it to you as an assignment from the previous class, I can't remember. So go to add and choose controller. And choose MVC controller with views using Entity Framework and say add. So in this case, I want to add the room controller. Choose here and then leave the name the way it is, rooms. So I'm going to say add. Alright, so we have our room controller. At this point, I'm going to run the application again, and then we are going to try to solve and fix an error or a bug that may occur. So I'm going to run the application. Now the name of the controller is rooms controller, meaning that the route to the room controller will be /rooms, which is the prefix to the name of the controller. So if I go to /rooms, I'll be able to have the list of rooms. So let's wait for it to start up, and then let's go to /rooms, and here we have our list of rooms that has been added. If I go to create new, it works, okay, because I think we did fix this problem. So let's say small size, and it's going to be 01, room 01, create. and it creates everything works perfectly well. Again, you can edit, and that is fine. Back to list, you can also go to details, and that is fine. You can also delete. It's going to give a confirmation for delete, but I'm not going to delete. All right, so we have the rooms controller. Let's just add one more controller, and let me just show you how to correct something that you may observe. So let's go to the controllers. Let me add patience controller this time. So I'm going to say add. I'm going to controller, and MVC controller with views using entity framework, and it's going to be, this time it's going to be patience controller, patience controller, and say add. Now what I'm going to tell you about is how to display the name rather than the ID, because when the list of patients displays, you see country ID displayed. So it's supposed to be the country name. So I'm going to show you how to fix this when this happens. So I'm going to run this application now so that you see what I'm talking about. And also remember that the navigation, I think we've not completed working on the navigation, but I expect you to be able to fix that up. So let's see. All right, so if I go to /rooms at this point, I'm going to /patients this time /patients. Now you have patients, but you have country displayed as 1. Okay, that is not right. If I go to create new, you also see country displayed as 1. Let's just solve the first one. So I'm going back to patient list, and let's solve this problem of country displayed as 1. So I'm going to solve it, you need to go to the view. So I'm going to Solution Explorer, I'm going to the view right here, I'm going to patients, I'm going to index. So in the index right here, display name for is going to be .country.name. .country.name is going to fix up that problem for you. And I'm going to run. All right, so I'm going to patient list right here, and you can see, oh, sorry, what happened here? Let's see. Sorry, so I'm supposed to do it, instead of the country ID, right here is going to be country.name, so yeah, that's my mistake. So it's going to be here, .name. All right, so that solves this problem. So while it's working, let me just show you something about the navigation. So let's see. You know, if you look at the navigation, you have the list of items shows on some places, and also we have new shows on some places. For instance, you have new patient goes to /patients/create. Now, new appointment is /appointments/create. Patient list is displayed in /patients, okay? So now we have the name of the country displayed right here to be India, okay? We've solved it. So you work out the navigation. So if I go back to the view, let me just, so that I'll show you how to work on the navigation. So if I go back to the, I think it should be home. It should be home. It should be home. Let's see. Oh, sorry, it should be shared and it should be layout. So it should be shared layout. So if you go down, you can see where I have the link. So you can see /physicians/create. It means /physicians are new position here, and you have in this case /admissions here. So let me just increase the font a little bit. So you can see the href is quite easy to understand. So you have /admissions, gives an admission list, the table, and it gives you the links to create new one. So at this point, I'm going to stop here, and in the next part, let's see what we are going to do in the next part. Let me see. So we already planned the navigation which works. So let's go next. So in the next part, we will now be adding homepage images, adding patient thumbnail images, are the little images that pop up when you click on the thumbnail. Actually, we'll add small images on the patient's data on the table. It's going to pop up to display the bigger picture of this patient. Okay, so we are going to be working with images in the part 11. I want to thank you for being there, and also remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you have challenges, please feel free to let me know. If you want to go further to support me, buy me a coffee or support me on Patreon. That used to be very, very motivating for me. So let's see in the next part.